gọvanọ na Anambra ya echenji ya na unu ji ego na ebe unu ji ego wee na-eche inwe gọvanọ for the first time onye nwe this type of vision. So oge o kwuchara ihe a niile nche na nya nwa na onwe in person nwere that vision. So ọ bụ na the thing na-adị rooted ọkwa ifu ihe niile m na-ekwu kịta ọ dị rooted in me. Ife ọbụla m na-ekwu abụrụ theoretical. Ihe ọbụla m na-ekwu ihe m nwere ike imenwu, ihe m ga-asị gị na m ga-emenwu. So now obi na-ekwu ihe a na-ekwu ihe ebe ọbụla a na-ediscuss ihe a ndị mmadụ a na-ekwu ị na-agụ kọmentrị ndị mmadụ na-ekwu people started having even ma ndị Yoruba ma ndị dị iche iche. So some of them go can anything good come out of an Igbo? So some of them are jealous. Na ndị Igbo na Anambra eme ihe yeah. Na ya adọlụ na eme that thing na population Lagos ga-agbada. Some of them was even emphatic about that. Say na nemakwana maka ha na-ekwu na public ha na-asị na Lagos na eziokwu na ihe na-eme ha ji eme ya na population.
Yes, we're live now. We're live. Good evening, everybody.
Okay.
This is GGM People's Parliament. Here, we'll say it the way it is. We are not political correctness. We don't massage our anything. We just say it in favor of the people. Here in GGM, everything we do in GGM is about public interest. It's about the people. It's not about me as a person. It's not about the basic. It is about the interest of the people, the public. Emma, the issue we have in our society, right from the time we secure our independence, we call it political independence. So though some people may argue that what we have is just not, we don't really have independence because the big boys are behind manipulating and taking the needed decisions on what we are doing down here. So what am I trying to say? From 1960, it has been business as usual because Nigeria is business empire. From 1960, it's from one elite to the other, is elitist agenda up to the current situation we have in the country and various states in Nigeria. Oh yeah, but most times when you see people in government, you'll be wondering, is these people there to serve the interests of the people? Or are they there to serve the interests of few? Government of few, by the few, and for the few, just to serve the interests of their friends, their family, and their pockets. That is the situation we find ourselves. Today in GGM People's Parliament, we will continue with our discussion yesterday, budget discussion. I've always said that the two most important documents we have in Nigeria, first is the Constitution, second is the budget. Sadly and unfortunately, people don't pay attention to the Constitution. Some people say our Constitution is fraudulent, our Constitution is faulty, but we've not taken time to even implement and practice that fraudulent Constitution. The faulty Constitution, even with the faulty Constitution, we can still use it to serve the interest of the people. But are we using it? No, because the people are not interested. And there is constitutional provision, Chapter 14, Section 2A, that the primary responsibility of the state is the welfare provision and security. Are we holding those servants who were elected, I mean the people who were elected to be in government, are we holding them accountable? No. Again, the budget. Few days ago, Professor Soludo presented 2026 budget to State House of Assembly, 757 billion naira. How many of us, in Anambra State know the budget provision, what the budget is all about? Here, we'll bring it down, we'll reduce it to your level, we use local language to explain it, with the meaning of budget, what is in there to look at, or the expectation from the people, from the government in respect of the budget. Here, we'll explain all those things. We may be able to compare Anambra State with other states, like Abia State. Abia State presented above 1 trillion naira budget proposal, you know. So here today we have our usual ambassadors of GGM. Henry is here with me. Coordinator from UK is also with us here. We'll be dissecting all these things and looking at the position of this budget and what the state governors intend to do. If my budget is a proposal, is intention, is an estimate, it's not the actual figures, is an estimate, but is a plan, is a financial plan, is a working plan. At least it's an idea of what government intend to do. So we should be able to ask questions. How far? November, how far have you gone? How far is the budget of 2025 budget? So all these things we will be dissecting today. I greet everybody. Ngwa, ndị mbụ na fa nọ na discussion. Henry, kene ndị bank.
Hello, good evening, viewers. My name is Henry, a GGM ambassador. Thanks for having me. Once again, come and join us. Let us dissect and discuss the budgeting system of Anambra and how to use it to cause a quantum leap in the governance of our homeland. Thank you once again for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Henry. Godrinya, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mr. Codlinye Uchendo, known as Codley NYE in the YouTube. Basically, my people, we are here to, support our homeland. We have no other home to go, and we want the best of our homeland, and we are truly the government of the homeland. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear brother. We are the government. Now we be the government, the people are the government. Oh, Izioku. A few people in government, the people. Or those few people in government are just representing us. The people are the government themselves. But here, why we're here? I like this, most times we are tired, but we still have it as our obligation. It's a responsibility. It's a call to duty. It's corporate social responsibility. Nobody pay us to do this thing we are doing. But when government fails, every other thing in the society will also fail. And the reason why government fail is simply because people are not doing what they should do. Imogo, after most times we expect miracle from the people in government. No, they won't perform miracle. Even if it's me, if I found myself somewhere and I notice that people are not asking questions, people don't even care. They don't care. It takes just a good man. You are just a good man. You want to please your conscience. You want to do the right thing. But how many people have conscience? So the point I'm making is that if we fail, to hold the people in government accountable, to ask them the needed question, though sometimes painful, though painful. But we'll continue to ask them that question because they are there. They are holding that place in trust on our behalf. So we have to insist and ask them that question. So this is why we're here. So looking at the budget, yesterday we discussed budget proposals. We looked at the figures, but like today, personally, I want to look at those things that will affect people's life directly. Directly, those things that will put money in the pockets of the people, households, put money in the pockets of the households, generate jobs, and one of them is, by concern, agriculture, food security. I've taken time to look at the budget proposal of this year. We may not be able to quote the exact figure, but I know it's less than 2 billion naira. Last year, it's less than 2 billion naira, meaning 1.9 something billion. But last year, you have 2.6 something billion. My take, ihe mụnwa chekwara na the oge period of time where food inflation is beyond the reach of an average man. The prices of food have increased to the high levels, that there is an urgent need for government intervention, both at federal level and at state level. So my thinking is that government of Anambra State would budget not less than 15 to 20 billion naira in that sector. So, Imago, if a there, but first, now you build your database. There is no way you start distributing money without knowing who is the real farmer. In Anambra State, we have so many political farmers, so many companies registered, just registered actual contracts from government. But it's the duty of the government to organize. And that organization, they identify the real people. You got to go and then put money or find a way to intervene to assist those people produce more food or go back to the farm. So, but I've not seen it. I don't think that will happen in next year's budget, because there's no provision for that. Just like what Soludo did the previous year. And then how do you measure that? How do you ascertain or determine the number of pantries or coconut seedlings that survived? You cannot measure, you cannot determine the rate of survival or success. So that is, to me, the first thing that I have faulted in this budget. It's already a figure, it's already presented to the House. Soon as they will call us for discussion. And this is the observation I will raise. Thank you. Henry, you can make your own input.
No, yeah, thanks for having me, Comrade MD. So, for me, first thing, for any state or any society to to stand out very far away from poverty and to put more money in the pocket of the citizenry is for them to, first of all, be able to grow what they eat and eat what they grow. This is the foundational basis of any successful society. So we must be able to grow the food we eat and feed ourselves, and must have the capacity to preserve against tomorrow, and to even, in order to curb inflation and to reduce what they call hoarding. So now coming to what Anambra State has done versus what they have not done in relation to the budget that was passed. I think you've said it all. we are averaging less than 2 billion. So if you do 2 billion as against 757, I don't think it's not even up to 1 or 2%, which is a far cry and a disturbing phenomenon. So for me, we've not gotten that sector right, because I think we've been having this conversation, but everybody who care to know among the government circle that there's no way you could come and say that the state policy on agriculture is a sharing of seedling. It has never worked anywhere. This is a policy that is supposed to be going side by side with other major agricultural policy trusts, so that you'll be able to create a high value chain that will not miss any of the demographics of the state. So what am I saying? The state government under this 226 budget is set out to, according to the governor, to share and distribute these seedlings to up to 100,000 households. You now begin to ask yourself, on what premise, on what data would they generate, as Ndibi has said, the so-called 100,000 household? Is it that they will just go and look for their party members and their girlfriends and their this thing to go and be dashing them, allocating them those seedlings? Because the one they did in the last 2 years, you cannot place anything on it, because one, not that thing has not started fruiting. You can't say that this is the XYZ number of people that we've given so far. So the whole thing is not, is more or less like supply driven, and it's not demand driven. And any project that is supply driven, most of the time is not sustainable and does not stand the test of time. So in view of that, what is the state government expected to do? Recently, in the last 2 years or so, Anambra State government, through the Ministry of Lands and other government agencies, has amassed up to 4,000 hectares of land as our land bank. So one now begin to ask question: if we are able to amass such massive plots of land, why are we not dedicating a substantial hectare percentage of that land to what we call farm settlements or farm estates? This farm estate, what is it going to do? If you have these farm estates in like 3 or 4, let's say, senatorial zone, what you do is whatever they are doing this 1U2 scale, because recently one could see that the 1U2 scale is a garbage in, garbage out. You gather people, train them for 5 or 6 months, dash them money, you don't follow them through. Before you know it, they bring in another batch. It's not supposed to be that way. If this government wants to make headway against food inflation and to make sure that the people are feeding very well, we must simulate the same strategy we did in 1U2 scale and move it to agricultural realm. What do? By the time you isolate and select according to our soil, the nature of our soil, either catch crop or a certain crop that can do well with Anambra, so that specific to Anambra, like Anam people, they can do yam. We can even do potato. There are a lot of stuff we can do in Anambra here. So when you develop these estates, bring in tractors, you can even go into partnership with Innocent, get as much as tractors as possible. The way Enugu State is doing, Enugu has taken delivery of 1,100 tractors. The next contingent of 900, they are going to be coming in piecemeal. What they are trying to do is that they want to make sure that every ward in Enugu is tied to a tractor, and that these are the kind of initiatives that we expect the state government to be doing. Because what you will do is that it will incentivize youth participation, because no youth will want to, in the midst of the egombute that is flying around our place, nobody will want to come and start toiling. But with new mechanics in agriculture, it will draw in the youth. When you now put them together in those farm estates, you set up something like a mini camp where people can take turns. Whatever that is generated from that thing, you can keep 30% for total rerunning of the place. You now move it to marketing boards, where not party agent or government contractor will come and infiltrate the system. You give it to real-time vendors, so that as those goods are coming in, no middleman will come to hijack the system to go and be selling at exorbitant price. People will go to that those marketing board and approved vendors and go and pick those in a very cheaper and subsidized rate. And as we are doing that, we're able to set up because I don't even think the Anambra has a preservation system, which is a very untoward development. So when you have these packages of solutions that is geared towards sustaining not just agriculture, but the whole value chain, because agriculture is not really about farm. They have different chain that at the end of the day, they're able to keep Anambra economy mobile 24/7. So we need to do more, considering what we are seeing so far. I see the far cry. We cannot be contented with 15% when 99 is possible. That's my take. Let me allow us to contribute. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Henry. According, you can continue from there.
Wonderful. Agriculture, sorry, agriculture and food safety or food security and food safety is actually my my hobby because it's the surest way to industrialize a place and also to create wealth. So if you want to create wealth, you must actually invest in agriculture. Take it very serious. If you want to have industry that can give jobs, or if you want to stop unemployment, the easiest way to do that is through food provision. So when I'm talking about food, we are talking about not just the solid food we are taking. I'm also talking about water, because people in Nigeria don't know that water is part of the food chain. So meaning that we must know if all these things are available. So let me just say, first of all, what the government need to do is, first of all, is to look at the problems we have in food, the shortfalls in food provisions, and also having a data on everything about food, both those produced in the state and those that are being brought into the state. That's as a start. If you go now, Kejua Hedeka, Kejua Hedeka, Governor, Commissioner of Agriculture, how many tons of tomato ka ane produce na Anambra State? Nyawa amaro. And kede boys ye butechi ya kede key people na supply ya. Or onwe komaro. Enjoy how many yam, tubers of yam or tons of yam can they produce or maro? You onwe ki mebona. Onwe ke just so quote wolf because nyawa amaro. Because onwero data on that. Omaro and enjoy here rice. Omaro. And I joy say okay, ke the rice o ne Anambra needing every week. Omaro. So enjoy kedumaka the fish and all those things omaro. So because no omaro those things, it cannot be able to solve the issue. So now all we have if is igeme when we because part of the things each develop your state. And the state the Anambra man high huge unemployment, which is not supposed to be. Agriculture ya bụ although no nwere big land, mana land on well the enough, obu na manage here very well. Genye nwanyi ni ihe anyị chọrọ. We can easily feed ourselves and also produce enough for industrial growth. So now the second one is basically intervention, directly and indirectly. There many ways the government can intervene, having had the knowledge. Malo na ihe dị ona, no need the ihe dị ona bụ. So can you give example? We can intervene by IMAP, we have Henry Kukita, or one of them. But one of the ways OAG intervene, he create a database of the farmers, proper farmers. Every village, both even those that are urbanized, you must have a database on them, and also try to group them as cooperatives, each of these things. So farm estates are also very good. So now here the government, because no intervention, because every nenye subsidy on agriculture, food production, or on Lazarus going to Mecca or going to Jerusalem. Every nenye subsidy on agriculture. Keki yesi wenye that subsidy. Let's say ni welundi GGM, and where the farm settlement, everybody na produce our food. So the government will now get ndiri involved whereby government ga potandi get train on the areas actual ha produce so produce so go have the target. Now within 1 year now the government cholo ha produce so the owner for the government. So the government will also buy those products. Can you give example? I don't know if we hear theoretical here in the key. Can you give example? Taiwan, Thailand, Philippines, and some other country are doing what I'm just saying. Even India and some others already. So abuna GGM, actual GGM. Let's say na GGM one of them, and we're out of 180 or 182. Ewe talom did produce yam. So government has okay na I neganya fu na yam need in Anambra State for consumption and then can we use into flour. They need 2 billion yams, 2 bars of yams. So GGM, I basically divide into that 180 something cooperative and also farmer groups. So now the government has seedlings for that. Government raise indige produce that seedling, meet that target. Now the target within 2 years, now you be meet that target. Now unfailingly, now you meet that target. Now obu na meet here, onye in charge, the commissioner must be fired. It must be accountable. So I am where I will do. 10 years we are still talking about it. We are making a timeline for it. Obu no 1 year, 1 year we meet the target. So now, at this in the GGM, this cooperative, now each of that 100 and something. So what the government do is that OGM intervene. He provide the seedlings, provide some agricultural inputs. Needle as a group, not as individual. So you had the training on how to do that, even the soil test. The Ministry of Agriculture, where they are representing here, the soil, what are the best agricultural practices and the pest control. So provide there some chemicals. Hageji, obuno organic farming. This is how you do it better. So now these people are gonna government on their side. On what you can say now, Fulani has men because eba encompassing. There is also security that is encompassing. Let's say na maybe na on nature. So eba and farm settlement are they highly secured. You cannot go there. With security also part of it, all part of the thing. So now, if these people are magozi, they have a vision to implement. The government they demand 1 million yam from them. So government agwago here also where go. Some of the people know about government who was part of civic responsibility subsidy. So government who no minimum wage. So now we a number of the people so so now they will now focus on producing these things. So now can you also government game after this? After how messy has so now government remember that government put their money, invested their money there. So now government will buy those things off. They are not allowed to sell in the open market because this is government is trying to solve a problem of food security. So now go food terminals. These food terminals are in major urban areas and major food producing areas. So I am many ones na each of the villages. Man here the Koka on each 4 5. Here the Konicha again when each metro again where 4 5 big ones. So eba can ebute here nine. The transport to Ghana ebute government because government have bought over those things. And well a company government in partnership with those people. Ghana ebute ni ana don't pay well preservation eba well ihe nine. So ndi nke na acho ime ihe na ndi ka ye process if a na-eche ime ihe a bụ ka eme itie the demand ndị mmadụ because the government ma na gọọmenti amalụgo already nni one ndị mmadụ niile na the state. So that target I eme itie and over ka adị show na enwere shortfall on these things. So suppose we meet those targets. So the remaining ones will be pushed to industrial production. Can you give example? Obu yam. Obu na ikota yam ọtụtụ. Suddenly you get a lot of industries, agro industry. Suddenly we in a place where 1,000 of them. How got involved now? Rice and we derive and a lot of things, products and na yam. Between 5 and 10, and when we care for adore pocha hancha, and we yam beer, and we starch and na yam, and we yana yam crisps, and well so many of them when we keep pocha back. So suddenly industry juice yam drink and hena. So enwelo yam something like hena flour ya ejikwe me bread. Ejikwe me bread. Some of the people chenos or cassava ma keji ejikwe yam part of it. So now ihe ndị ka industry ya this year eba niile okikiri ebe provide for that. So excess yam ebute ebe ka ya ebuga process ya when we bulu that excess ụfọdụ ka ya na-elekwa na the state yam flour GGM flour ndị mmadụ ji ese. So if ordinary 2 kg of yam flour na agala ezigbo ọnụ and it give you more money than tuber. So now ndị a niile dị involved na okwe man industry ebidogo na Anambra State. Now 1,000 industry create ebe a bulugo industry na akwụ and the headquarters ya dịcha na Anambra State. If you go there, we go a lot of industrial base already. Just through yam only yam man and other things. So we go industry already. And then they involve in here we kid between 20 to 50,000 people getting paid. So now even a in a keep what the wealth of that state in that state, yeah, the wealth and circulate because suddenly they generate money already. And that money, government is also getting their own, people are getting their own, people will be able to buy goods and services, other services in the state, thereby also making the economy moving. So now, it also export. So that yam also, the excess of it, but it create imego surplus on need. That excess in a make export. This our airport. I got this or no, they got this busy because some of those yam flour my hair and they be a cargo area, yeah. So also yam alone, yam flour and other yam products. They seen at that airport now guy anywhere in the world. Through that company, government is set it up. And the government negotiate. That company and negotiate with bigger supermarkets around the world and companies. So how negotiate? So the foreign exchange, suddenly that budget in a queer. A guy and then with a foreign exchange here na batana the state. If you know the much more ni high waking and with na federal handouts. So and we doesn't get mana can happen go the back and doesn't wake contribute their own. Udo de lono.
Odo de my brother. All these things in equal Ketanua or a big deal. Is it a rocket science? Is it a big deal that could not be implemented? Imago for I think person sees have brought person sense. Sometimes una got school like this. Una afuka isi agwa will read, will write, will make presentation. No get anything. And see, all these things were even some of us, we have our students. All these things are in Akuzuloma. How do we use these things to solve our problem? And we have gaps everywhere in the society. Gaps that should be filled. You solve a problem, you make money. And there are several problems to be solved. The issue why IG include these things is because you have idea without having money. That your idea will remain with you. You may even die with the idea. Because idea without money is like nothing will happen. But government that has the capacity, that has the resources to begin to implement some of these ideas, the big question is it that these people in government achọrọ ka our young people nwee ọrụ? Or is it that na ha chọrọ ka agụụ na-agụ anyị so that ka ha nọrọ n'elu ebe fa nọ na-amụ anyị amụ? Or is it that na fa chọrọ ka economy anyị develop just like Western society? Ka ọ dị ihe nọ na UK, ọ ma na these things ọ na-ekwudo as simple as ABCD. Only yesterday we were discussing, I think somebody said that some of these ideas are theoretical, that is easy said than done. Now, when you go into real budget or budgeting, you will discover that these things takes time and it takes time. It doesn't, and the money cannot, you cannot just come and be plucking money like you are harvesting oranges, you know. But I think the way Cordray stated these things, to me, I personally believe that if a governor should connect with the people and win the trust and love of his people, if a governor should be able to inspire the people, his inspiration, if people see how sincere you are, how humble you are, that you are here to serve the people, and people are convinced that you are genuine, it's not about grammar. If you call the people that this is the plan you have, you want to plant 1 million tubers of yam, and this is the target, and this is the factory that will off-taker that will come and buy it from you. And who is saying that we cannot have marketing board? Who is saying that we cannot have commodity market? M.I. Okpara from 1956 to 1964. I think he was just Premier of Eastern Nigeria for 4 years. But just look back and see the miracle he did in the former Eastern Nigeria. Just a man with vision. Oil resources oil revenue that time. Okwa palm and all these cashew nuts I harvest today. Okwa somebody's vision ka can enjoy what he planted some 60 years ago. We are still enjoying it up to this moment. So it's not a rocket science doing all these things. It's not a rocket science building a modern city. It's not big deal. It's about humility. Coming from your high horse, connect yourself with the local people. Communicate your vision to them. Communicate it in a language they will understand and begin to demonstrate that this thing is implementable. Okay, now I say, show me your friends and I will tell you who you are and what you can do. If you have Jesus Christ, I should be able to see Peter and James and Paul around you. The moment you have the right team working with you, I bet you there's nothing you cannot achieve 1 year or 2 years down the line. We are talking about food production in Anambra State or food security in Anambra State, and the budget of this year is not encouraging. So maybe Nkiru is here with us. Nkiru, you can greet our people and make your own submission before we get back to Henry. Nkiru, if you are here with us, if you are not here, we can move back to Henry.
Good evening, everybody. My name remains Nkiru. Coming to you here one night, nwoke dị ekwu. O kwụsịgokwa n'ihe niile ọ na-ekwu. Ma the issue sọ ihe melụ ihe niile a bụ ọ chọrọ imelu onwe ya down like otu nwanne anyị nwoke kwu maka dis agriculture ọ nọ ma n'ilu India ọkwa ịma ilu India agriculture na-enye ha ego and abịa mee data agriculture ọ na-asị na enwere anyị ọkwa nwe otu esi alụ ụmụ mechanized agriculture kịta o nwere otu esi eme ya kpata na ụfọdụ ma ndị nwere anyị ma ndị enwere anyị ọ nwere otu esi eme ịkụzichara so many people ụfọdụ na-anọ ma n'ụlọ elu o nwere ebe mmadụ ada nọ kịta mee ya agriculture ị partner with ụmụ ikolobịa then this enwere ana mmiri dị ịkụzigodu ha fishery azụ na-enye ezigbote ego you partner with them ịkpọ ndị ma anya ya ka itinye ego n'ụmụ agriculture ụmụ ikolobịa na-akọta nwa azụ o nwere ụdị azụ achọ ịkụ na Niger ma ọma mbara ama nkụ ndị ọcha na-akụ ewere ya mee ezigbo a na-eme ya na pakeji na-ebupụkwa na-proses o nwere ọtụtụ ịbịa n'ịkụ ụmụ ji a o nwere mgbe a na-akụzi maka rice ama m mgbe a na-eme campaign somebody jere ebe a ọkwa uche kwuru ife wee kwuo ome nke fasia na ọ bụrụ fana akọta ọ na-emebi emebi nọ kedu otu a ga-esi nyanwa n'onwe ya the issue bụ we need agriculture more than any other thing and anyị kwesịrị ka mmadụ nya bọjetị ego na agriculture I'm telling you bọjetị ego otu a nwanne anyị si kọwakwa na agriculture ọkwa ifo my crimes ọ ga-ebenata more than 60%. O tinye ego na ya nya tinyekwuo ego na ụmụ teknọlọji a ka anya anyị niile pụọ na mmanụ teknọlọji brain anyị elua just small place mmanụ na mgbe water works dị mbụ more than 10,000 workers na-alụ ọrụ ma ndị barbering salon ma ndị na-esi kurita ma these are the areas ọ ga-ewele ego nya tinye ka arapụzi anyị na-emela anyị bụ bogus na alụlụ nke a tinye satellite no nya wele ego bọjetị kadị mainly that place efo na ma ụmụaka onye ga-anọ na primary 6 mmadụ ga-anọ ya onye a ga-ebido babalo ọkwa ije side western world ma ụmụaka pelu mpe na akwacha akwa epụta ịmara ebe that your talent dị nya bọjetị ego side ya karịa ụmụ ihe niile ha na bọjetị ego ka Anambra wee tọnụa bụrụ ihe ọ bụrụ taxes so many places ọ ga-esi wee na-enweta ego ma a na-afọndụkwada bọjetị ada obodo a na-emeghe o rili nne babọkwa economist ka ọ bụ na ọ kwere ome o jekwuo other governors o jekwuo students gụkwalịa ma nya ma how to handle it o mee ha ncha niile employ ihe abụrụ skyrocket na the issue bụ onye a ga-ebe ndị nwukwa foreign anyị ga-eji aka isi korota that is the area so ọ ga-abọjetị ego ma anyị maintain ụzọ efu na ihe niile ọ bụrụ mana ha na-ewele ihe chanel a ebe kwesịrị ya little things ọ ga-emeketa efu na Anambra otu fa ga-esi wee develop nya ọ ga-adị terrible. I rest my case for now.
All right, Wada Giro, thank you for your submission. Henry, let's be trying to this program is about coming to an end. So can you do submit our closing remark? Because we want to be making it at least an hour so that people can listen to what we're saying.
Okay, so for me, in conclusion, I think we've all said it all. The quickest route to a man's heart is food. Then after food, we talk about religion, then about your survival. So our own should not be different. We've dissected the teething problems of agriculture in Anambra State. So it is now the next best step is for for us to move, like P2P will always say, from consumption to production. It's quite unfortunate that if we cross over the other side of the River Niger, most of the food we are eating right now comes from the north. Then you cross over to Coca-Cola, most of the cars you see there are from the north. Then you go to New Pass, the people supplying food stuff there are from the north. What we've actually done as a people is that we have outsourced our survival to outsiders. We are not in control of the food we eat, and it's a recipe for disaster. The time we could have done it was yesterday. The next best time is now. So we should encourage each and every one of us. Every opportunity we have, we use it to escalate and demand agricultural production, not just in Anambra, in the whole of our Igbo, so that we're able to provide security, food security, reduce food inflation, and stay healthy as a people. That's all from me. Thank you.
All right. Covering closing submission.
Hello?
Hello, yeah, we're still here.
Ihe mee ya bụ na ndị mmadụ na-akọwa, ọtụtụ ndị be anyị ma ndị ọzọ na-akọwa na gọọmenti Anambra steeti enwero policy on agriculture and na ọ dịrọ interested na agriculture. And na ọ bụrụ sọsọ gọọmenti Anambra steeti na most of them adịrọ interested n'ihe gbasara agriculture, maka na ọ bụ na ha ghọta na ezigbo agụụ dị na Nigeria, na ha ka ọnya ọnọdụ ka ọlụ dịlụ gọọmenti, na ọ bụ na ọ ghọtara na ihe mee na inflation dị na Nigeria bụ na nni adịrọ, na ọtụtụ crime niile a na-eme na ọlụ adịrọ bụ na nni adịrọ, bụ nyanwa na ha ị ga-afụ na ha ga-eteke those areas serious. And the why na ha na-eteke serious bụ na ha nwa abọdarọ maka ndị mmadụ, and the duto na onye kwuru okwu si na ha nwa ada aga n'ụlọ na-afụ na-emiti real people nọ na street, ọ bụrụ ndị ọgaranya. So ndị ha na-emiti ha na-akpọ stakeholders bụ ndị already bụ part of ndị bụ problem the state or the state ndị digodo affluent people. So ha ya asị gị na agụ na-agụ ha because they are well to do, mana 99% of other people enwero where the next meal will come. And then ihe agụlụ, the worst thing a government ga-eme bụ ịhapụ ka mmadụ go ji 2 naira today, echi niile o jezie ego dị eji ogokwazi ya 4 naira, why na ụgwọ ọrụ a na-akwụ ya ka bụkwa the same thing. So na government supposed to control pricing. So na food bụ part of the place inwe ike iji wee kwụsị ụmụ insecurity and other things, other crime. So ọ bụ na gọọmenti sig na ọ ya eme intervene, ịma na even a capitalist government nọ na Britain ma America, they also intervene in food security. They don't play with it. Maka ha mana ịchọ destroy your country, hapụ ka nni galaba ọnụ. Ọ galaba na ọnụ, inflation will be high. Ọ ga-double ozugbo, double digit ma ọ bụ na ịkpachapụrụ anya. So asị nkwube onye na-asị na 1.2 billion ka esi otil na budget maka mụ afro all those things, ma ama m na onwero na ha oge ọ na-ekwu maka nkwụ, I was ashamed. Oge ọ na-ekwu ọpụta na-agụ budget na ọ na-eke nkwụ, I was ashamed na oge repeat kwa the same manta. Na ihe nkwụ a abụrụ ihe suppose ọ bụrụ a policy gọọmenti suppose ị na-enye ndị mmadụ nkwụ, and ọ ga na-announce ya na the main policy bụ how to make food available and make sure na the food anyị na-eli na Anambra na anyị na-eproduce ya na Anambra State. You don't expect tomato si Kano na-abịa na Anambra State ka ọ ka dị fresh. Man, he produce where na local the job where the anyị nwere population n'ebe a na Anambra State. So those other states na-achọ ka bute ka ha learn our state. Why not us directly produce it in our own state? You know, so all those things bụ ihe na onye ka na-ekwu miss industrial this na na-ekwu na plan sị gị na ihe a niile bụ ọ ga-anọcha 4 years mana o nwere much ya dị ebe o nwere ike highest one industry apụta ebe a ma this one bụ ihe o nwere ike ideliver within a year 6 months a year industry ozugbo and solve our problem dị at stake. So ọ bụ na ihe m na-ekwu na gwa m ife a governor or a government na Nigeria solve godo ofu onye kwu na ha da solve any problem even the lowest one. Okay, man, here one of the things is easy to solve. Mana they don't solve it because they are ihe na-anya bụ ihe na plan vision 2070. Mana ndị mmadụ ya dị ndụ kịta wee kwube maka vision 2070. So ihe na-akọwa bụ na imechinata okwu mbụ na Soludo ga-agachi ya azụ kịta anya na 6 months not chọrọ solve problem food crisis 1 year ka I solve Kenya today I solve where today if the difference dị na state anyị adị mma bụrụ ọka ibe anyị enwe industry anyị nwe ọrụ ụmụazị anyị enwe ọrụ ndị mmadụ anyị na-ebezi akwa nni na-ayọ nni ebe niile so nni abụrụkwa ntọ na be anyị even na anyị ebido mebe export nni na ọ bụrụ alụ so ọnya nwa nyelụ ndị mmadụ aka ndị real farmers nyelụ ha aka nyelụ cooperative aka ka ha nwee ike ịkwudo secure ụmụ ana niile adịche ebe dị iche iche o nwere another one nke ekwu mana duto na time adịrọ ihe na-ekwu urban farming a na-akọ ugbo na urban areas mana ị ga-enwe policy for that ọ mbọsị ọzọ m ga-akọwa how this thing can be done efu na nke a na onwe ga-ekreti kwa thousands of jobs udo dịla unu ndị niile nọ n'ebe a na ndị nke na-ege anyị ihe anyị na-achọ bụ ọdịmma be anyị chọrọ ka be anyị karịa ebe ndị ọzọ anyị hụrụ be anyị n'anya karịsịa so nwere ihe ọzọ anyị na-achọ amụ abụrụ politician achọkwadụ m ịbụ politician mana ihe mma na mbụ gọọmenti because na anyị nwa bụ gọọmenti a na real gọọmenti ọ bụrụ ndị anyị dugara ozi anyị nwa bụ gọọmenti anyị nwa ka a ga na-ege ntị kedu ihe bụ ihe na-eme anyị nwa bụ ndị nọ na streeti mara ihe na-eme na streeti ndị politicians amarụ ihe na-eme na streeti ha nọ na gọọmenti haus ọnya mere na ihe ụfọdụ na-eme na ha da ama because ha nọrọ na streeti so ha nọ na streeti ha ya afụ ndị mmadụ na-ata ifidi onwe ha ga-eme ya so ha ga-anyị okwu ha ga-anyị and ọ ga-abalụ ha ulu maka ọ bụrụ na Soludo mee ihe ndị a niile ọ bụrụ the most popular governor in the whole history of Nigeria or history of Anambra State and ekpere anyị na-ekpe ka gọọmenti ya nwee ike bụrụ gọọmenti na-ege ntị wee tinyebe ụmụ ihe ndị a n'ọrụ ọ bụrụ ihe na-eje mahadum wee na-amụ ọ ihe mmadụ na-eme already na bie ndị gboo ndị nna nna anyị ha mechara ya ndị bi n'ụlọ nwechara ya na-enwe ihe a na-enweta dị self sufficient na food kedu ihe ọ ga-abụzi na nke anyị ọ dịzi ona a na-asụrụ anyị ogologo oyibo so oge ogologo oyibo agago kịta bụ oge anyị ga-ebido mee ihe na make hair while the sun shine ọ kịta 6 months anyị solve a problem any of them 1 year this is solved food security problem inadequacies 1 year solved in Anambra State is possible. It's not a rocket science. God bless you all.
Yeah, thank you, Kadri. We continue to engage with all of us, our people, because as we all know, people be government, all people body government. And yes, the other time was people may not take us serious. Governor, all those people, lawmakers, opinion molders, do they take us serious? But the fact remains that I never represented the interests of the ordinary people. And the ordinary people in Ayabuike often want the political power. These people in a neglect of farmer ka aga actually my election, Soludo they see they know about for no na market, na-eme itifa, na-ekefe ego, na I try to go for talk to them. So what we are doing now is to empower these people with knowledge, because they say information is power. A lot of our people, their brain do empty. How are they good governance? aghọta dị ha chere na gọvanọ nọrụ dị abịa jos lụpụrụ ụzọ ha na-akụli aka na ọ na-atrai. But here we are trying to break it down ka fa ghọta na enwere ife those people nọ na gọọmenti ga-emere fa their life a change ya. And that is what we are doing here. That is the information we are passing. Information is power. It will go far. Anybody that neglect ihe anyị na-eme na or draw serious, we are not serious. He's just deceiving himself. Because all the right people chọrọ this information ka anyị na-enye. Only can the elites this information because the elites are good to go. They're enjoying with two things, and they have surplus, you know. They can use the surplus to accumulate more money, buy food. Yesterday, I bought 13 tubers of yam, 30,000 naira. 13 tubers of yam, 30,000 naira. So, of course, I can still buy 100,000 naira worth of yam. To me, but then when they wanted that money to buy. So before we close, I just want to provoke your mind so that you start thinking to read out the exact figure Soludo budgeting. I mean Anambra State government, the government's estimate for agriculture. The estimate this year, 2026. Emebe approve or approve or borrow approved budget is 1.8 billion naira. The government budget for this year. Last year, government budgeted 2.8 billion naira. 2.8 billion naira was the approved budget last year. Obesiana this year or submit 1.8 billion. So nwanne nebezie na ya ka ịfụ na this government enwere any intention for agriculture. Or continue ọkwa ikekwe distribution of seedlings, palm seedlings, coconut seedlings, or any other intervention. Then abịa na ihe ọkpọ agricultural development project. Last year, he budgeted zero, nothing. This year, he budgeted 95 million naira. What is 95 million naira? Just 95 million naira. Okay, let me also inform you that the same year, budget year, this government budgeted 34 billion naira for governor's office. I mean, capital budget, capital expenditure. You know, there is recurrent expenditure, there is capital expenditure. In capital expenditure this year, the budget estimate for governor's lodge is 34 billion naira. Then food, agriculture for the whole Anambra state is 1.8 billion naira. This is the information I'm giving you this night. So go with that information, write it down, and then discuss among yourselves. The government on a good intention for our people. Perhaps the people need the food. During the election, he can give you 5,000 naira. You do the mathematics. 5,000 naira times 426,000 votes. Do the mathematics. Ego no pụta. O nwere ike ọ bụrụ na ego afọ ketie na agriculture ka o ji nye gị 5,000 naira. So you don't need food. Go and eat the 5,000 naira. So this is what I'm giving you. You sleep with these things and think of the way forward or way out. Obaulu na government. Yes, Obaulu. The information we're giving you, you work with it, you run with it, so that next time somebody be with 5,000 naira, you say, no, I brought 5,000 I need. I need the Kuma ụmụaka niile na-agụ na primary school, secondary school. In Aganese, for how many thousands of people nọ na secondary school get a jump? Uche ga na-agwa gị ka ebe dis ụmụaka niile ya alụ ma ọ bụrụ na ha nenesia WAEC ha do 1 million nene JAMB at the end of the day sọsọ 400,000 ka 600,000 ka ebe fa ga-agawazi. That is the question you should be asking yourself. Ka ebe 600,000 ya agabazi apụta when people are saying na ndị a na-ezu ori crime do ndị unknown government will go and stop. How can you stop it when you have 600,000 people on the street without job, no hope, no plan? Government has no plan for them. Even one youth, two skills. It train CFA inyefa 300,000 naira to go. Can ha age 300,000 naira ma? But open train all these people where create a cooperative like Henry and Cordonier said. Create a cooperative. Each cooperative nwere problem ha na-solve. Enwere cooperative ndị na-solve ụzọ Trunk-C Road. Ọ bụrụ interlocking ka anyị aga na-edose dị year in year out. Ha alụsịa interlocking ha ebido maintenance. Government a na-enyefe ego for the maintenance. You know, our youths are energetic. You know, ha chọrọ ịlụ ọrụ. But the highest motivator of labor is money. You must use money as a stake. Money book stake. Itinye money like this, say you to Lubolo run the clock, they will do it. Ụmụaka anyị na-waste. There's 15 years, 20 years, energy fanwe ọbara fado ọkụ ana n'iyi. Okpogawelo 30 years n'ọnwa anyị. Energy fa ana n'iyi, yet we have government who is budgeting 34 billion naira for governance lodge. Now budget 1.8 billion naira for agriculture. This is budget estimate. We'll be reading these figures every time I be here. Actually, Monday, this program, Monday to Friday, I had a weekends, you know. I be Monday, I hope they were upon housing. I hope the housing, dissect housing. We use your house and compare governor's lodge, what governor budgeted for lodge. I want to know what that budget, 34 billion naira. Whether when we're 5-star hotel or yalo under governor's lodge, because all of go lighthouse, all budget of this year can go. In last year, 30 billion naira. But in this year, 34. I mean 2026, but at 4 billion naira. So I think we're okay, and we have to thank everybody and our people, our viewers who are following us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and of course our YouTube channel. I know all later on the YouTube and then. So we want to appreciate every one of us. We are good governance ambassadors. That is what we have. In fact, taken appointment. We have taken appointed ourselves to be good governance ambassadors, not Tinubu ambassador, ambassador na akwụgwọ. No, nke bụ nke anyị ji aka anyị appoint onwe good governance ambassador. So you can come and join us to serve the interests of the people, the public. So thank you, everybody, and good night. Nkiru, if you could go closing remark, I think I've given you opportunity. Okay.
And by Dalon.
Okay.
Dalon oya fota ka afọ echi. Kama ka gọvanọ anyị ka onye ọbụla tinye uche na ihe eji enye unu ego bụ na nwere ihe unu bụ. Anda agụ unu wee ji aka unu agụ. Eji aka anyị agụ. Igolu conscience akpata na o ji eme ụdị ihe dị ihe a. Amakwa m ụnọ na nni nke ndị kakwa mgbe ọkwa onye dị ndụ ọba n'ụlọ. Mmadụ ga-anọkwa ihe etu ihe goro akwa mana iwere ike ị na-ede iliro nne. Ka gọvanọ anyị marụ na o were akpụ 3 months, nwa akpụ 6 months, and ogu na-enye ezigbote ego a ga na-process ụgwọ. Ọ dị very easy na onyere farmers aka. Tomato bụ highest 3 months ọ mịbi ị na-ahụ ya ịghọ tomato side ya na-eru ebe ahụ nke a chalụ na-eje a na-eme dis mushroom elo ọ ga-azụnwu ụmụ ikolobịa a na-emekwa ya processing ego niile ọ na-etinye n'ụlọ ọ bụrụ ya Anambra chọ na obele ego tinye na agrikọlchọ iji gosi unu na o nwere ihe o ji unu kpọrọ atọ ọ na-etinye ụdị obere ego a na agrikọlchọ nyawo ọkwa ịbatabe ha nne adị nyafụ dede ego o tinyere ego na agrikọlchọ dukto na ọma na ihe niile ọ ga na-anata bụ iji taxation nye nnagbu ndị mmadụ mana agrikọlchọ bụ ihe akanye gọọmenti ọbụla ego kọmọn ogu a ego ole ka ọ ga-etinye kọmọn akpụ osisi akpụ ọ sị na eji nkwụ eje ebe osisi akpụ nkịtị kedu ihe ọ ga-eri ịpatna wit ndị ọrụ ugbo wit youth 3 months abụghị akpụ eji eme flọ eji eme brod nwere ihe ejiri a na-eproses ya kedu ihe eji ime little things a amali nnukwu ego ọ na-enyekwu gọọmenti ego na-emekwu ka youth nwee ọlụ ka youth dudebe lezi ka a na-eprosesi ka ego dị n'akpa ọma mmie ọ na bọjetị na building ebe fasi ezufu ego public arrest by case nyariti nkekwa agụụ ka ọ na-akpọ oku crime ka ọ na-akpọ oku onye afọ taa ka ọ fụ echi ndị be anyị chiefo kunikwanụ talon.
Yeah, thank you all. We'll continue to be talking and we'll continue to be sensitizing our people. Like I said, information is power. And when something may occur, and where research institute and when Anambra State name research on some of these agricultural farm produce. Every year like this, and improve species or hybrid species or hybrid species in them of you got to go. Every year, Anna and ego Anna a budget to that end. Okay, you have to be intentional about it. It's not about Ministry of Agriculture where you have civil servants and actually go higher. So a budget go like this or seminar. At the end of the day, and what nothing, I know of Abia State, Ministry of Agriculture, no man here. Somebody called me saying that I need their cassava, that we should go there to take any quantity of cassava of a stick or stem, any quantity I just. On the advice as per our projection cooperative. Say no Anambra I know. Also na any as long as no an able, as long as an able farmer, if you are there and I can go to improve species. Up on the Ministry of Agriculture, this information and sending it out to the public. Let somebody tell me in Oburezoku. This is what Abia State is doing. I know their investment in agriculture. I will still get the budget, EGOHA budget for 2026. Read it out here. I know Enugu State. I can't pick the exact figure, but I know the amount they budgeted in agriculture last year was in excess of 20 billion. 20 billion naira. Of course, the last report they put in Nigeria, Anambra State were second to the last, or last but one. Anambra State bottom list, the last had our second na the last position, Anambra State. So this is I know who we are brought na I make up stories. Or na anybody I like the Afghan government or I like Professor Soludo. But the fact is that Anambra State government and a program for agriculture. That is the fact. and it's seen everywhere in their states, in their reports coming from federal government. So the last time Obasanjo was here, Obasanjo advised Osoludo, say even if it's too even a cash crop, you can take two like cassava. Amala Anambra said no how state produce cassava. Even a three, and you take pantry. Maybe you don't want to well pantry when you distribute pantry, but that is not again intentional. Because you need distribute here by Ibunya party members, word by word. Ibunya, see that each family will get 5 or 3. Many of them, I can assure you, in my village, my cousins put Syria, Dosalia somewhere, had all the serious ever adults. Because uncle June everywhere now, if you are in a village, uncle na village, I can 2 to 500 everywhere. You got to go. So Ibunya, my cousin uncle, Obuli Ejadosa somewhere. Because you go to the go down. So why not identify a cooperative like GGM? I'm not saying you should give me identify genuine cooperative one. It's if okay, we'll sign MOU with this cooperative. We're giving this cooperative 5,000 pound seedlings. Every year you send your extension workers from Ministry of Agriculture to come and see what their performance and put record what you saw, what you see in the field. There should be something like that, intentional policy towards agricultural development in the state, without which Oburukwa Ihana playing politics with food security. Thank you and good night, everybody. We'll still meet on Monday to dissect and discuss other other sectors of Anambra economy. We can always compare other states like Enugu and the Abia State. Imo, Ebonyi is there. Dalun.